Yusuf, now, amid this power tussle, we've spoken, the council will decide a new leader. But in the interim, who will likely be the shot caller? Who will likely take the lead? Will it be the IRGC in this case?
I'm afraid I did not get your question.
Yes. So until a new leader is elected, until the committee elects a new leader in Iran, is the IRGC likely to call the shots?
Well, of course, the IRGC has one single mission, and that is to protect the Islamic Republic, not to enter the political scene. So it's unlikely that the IRGC would have any impact on the result and the outcome of the deliberations over choosing the next Iranian supreme leader. So we're not expecting the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps to try to have a say in this regard. But of course, they are responsible for trying to ensure the security and the safety of the Islamic Republic during this critical juncture, to try to make sure that nobody would harm the Islamic Republic, either from the protesters, maybe if protests erupt, or from the Iranian adversaries like the United States and Israel. So this is what the IRGC is in charge of.
And Yusuf, on to a bigger regional question, how is this likely to reshape the balance between the West, the Gulf countries, and other powers like Russia and China?
Well, of course, when it comes to the West, during the past decades, and even from the start, since the start of the Islamic Republic, since the birth of the Islamic Republic, the Western leaders and Western hemisphere in general have been hostile towards Iran, and Iran has been hostile too towards them. And it's not just about the chance of death to America and death to Israel. It has its own nuances. It's not just about that. The Islamic Republic believes that the West has imposed sanctions against the Iranian economy. The West, since the start of the Islamic Republic, a short while after the Islamic Revolution, emerged victorious. The Iranians witnessed and faced a full-scale war, the longest war of the 20th century. That's right. The Iraq War. And that laid the foundation for this long-term and long-standing hostility between Iran and the West. So the Western hemisphere is not willing to see the survival of the Islamic Republic, and that's natural because the Islamic Republic has not been their ally, has not been pursuing their interests. But when it comes to the Eastern hemisphere, there are like-minded nations, like-minded countries like Russia and China, who share many of the mentalities or many of the approaches held by the Islamic Republic. So when it comes to the Eastern hemisphere, the Chinese are not interested in seeing Iran collapse or the Islamic Republic, so to speak, collapse. Vladimir Putin is not interested in seeing the Islamic Republic's collapse either, because Iran is aiding and assisting the Russians with their drones in their war against Ukraine. So they share many commonalities, and then we are not expecting to see negative comments from the Russians or from the Chinese with regards to the Islamic Republic. And the Islamic Republic, along with Russia and China, have been engaged in many projects, joint projects, economic trade projects, and also some security projects. We should not forget the long-term security pacts between Iran and China, and even between Iran and Russia. There have been, I heard it from a reliable IRGC source, those nations have been engaged in trying to create what they call an atomic shield, which spares Iran the need to create its own atomic weapon. So an atomic shield is a shield that protects Iran and the member states on the Eastern Bloc against any incoming attack, atomic or nuclear attack from a hostile nation. So they protect each other. And this means that Iran does not need to produce its own nuclear weapon, and it can rely on the power, the nuclear power of its allies.